Good afternoon. It's once again the second Sunday of the sprint, which means that it's time for our bi-weekly sprint review. Now, these past 2 weeks were dedicated to creating the addicted NPCs, just the regular civilians all walking around with a phone in their hand. And now there were a couple of goals that I'd set for myself for these 2 weeks. Those being that I wanted to have multiple character designs for NPCs. I wanted to have both an animation for standing with the phone in their hand and walking with the phone in their hand, since that's all they will really be doing. Then I want not an animation. Then I want to actually put a physical phone in their hand and make that a light source. And I have somewhat completed all of those. I am not entirely satisfied with the designs just yet, and I also came across a few other things that need fixing, or at least need working on before I can get to releasing the Steam page. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so we are back in Unity, and if we just go over here, then you'll see these three NPCs T-posing here, and this one not doing any sort of pose. He's doing something with a phone in his hand. Now, I am going to admit that it doesn't look very natural. That's because for some reason the animations that I found don't work well with these character designs. And if you look carefully inside his right hand, there is a little physical phone there. And you can also see his thumb moving if you look closely. And that's both while walking and while standing still. And I just gave them a short script saying, oh, well, stand still for a couple seconds, rotate however many degrees to the left or to the right. It's just a random number. And then walk however many meters or steps or pixels or however you want to measure it. I intentionally didn't add the script to each of those. This one right here is also going to be one of the character designs. I'm also noticing just now that he's walking into the ground a little. That's also not supposed to happen. But each of these designs will also be used. There is this woman here, this woman in the back here, and this man on the right. I am also going to alter each of these NPCs a little bit later. To give them multiple different outfits, etc. So that's also on my to-do list for later. But that's what I've gotten done in these past 2 weeks. And now to get into what I will be doing over the next 2 weeks. So the sprint goals for sprint 7, and that's going to be the monster sprint, where I work on the monster NPCs that the player will encounter over the course of the game. So, 3 goals, once again. First, I want to create and alter several zombie character designs. That speaks for itself. Find some zombie or monster character design and alter it to make it look specific to my game. I've done this before with the NPCs I just showed you, so that I think I know how to go about this. There are some elements here that I am not entirely sure how to go about, but that's a concern for the future. And second, I am going to give them patrolling, charging, and idling animations, and I will add keybinds to the player keyboard to be able to control the charge, because that's all I need for now. And giving the monsters excuse me, an AI is going to be much more complicated than it was for the just regular civilian NPCs. So that's what is on the planning for the next 2 weeks. Then also another little update on the Trello board. I added this little column in the left here, the extra to-do roadmap. As I explained a while back, I am working on getting a Steam page release ready. And And I set myself a bunch of goals, but there's obviously things that I'm going to forget. Like I was working on the NPCs earlier this week, and it was quite a tedious setup for even just one NPC. And for the trailer that I'm going to want, and for the screenshots, I'm going to want countless NPCs, and creating each and every single one or just copy pasting them would not be the most wise idea. Besides, that's not how I'm going to want to do it for the actual game later either. So I'm going to need to write a little script to make them load on the start of the game and have all the correct attributes already applied. But that's not for any of the near future sprints. I will probably, if I have some time left somewhere, look into that, or near the end of this roadmap, I'll have an emergency fixing sprint, or just a couple of days that I work on all the things in this column. And I think that does it for today's sprint review. Once again, thank you for watching until the end, and I look forward to giving you another update 2 weeks into the future.